defense. So time will only tell, but I think that this is going to be a pretty interesting map we have in front of us.
Yeah, this being Cubert's pick, it's definitely up to YFP to know if they're truly ready for this matchup after both teams have not played on this map for so long. And of course, with those Teo changes, comms have already shifted drastically. Here is B-Dog on that deadlock, up close with a grab net to try to get aggro, and Penny with the providing fire to get that first kill, setting up the mesh to stall.
And that will pretty much just cause Cubert to slow down in their tracks just for a second here. You see Reduxx gonna scoop up the orb, but at the same time, we do get to see Nismo as well as T-Dog make a little bit of space here onto middle. And especially too, taking a look at the Viper's wall there, I mean, you've got only just that Cypher hanging out on that A site, but it is heavily reinforced. So Cubert, they're gonna be deciding to take a lot more space on middle before making a decision as to which site they want to really hit.
It resolved that with B-Dog already back up in tower, the stack is not going to be worth it. No doubt that they'll have a smoker ready to cover, but with only that one singular controller, they feel a little bit better about hopping into this Cypher util. Meanwhile, of course, TenZ go kill will be the most sacred 3 words of the day. We'll see if he's able to pick up anything in this tower plant. Jumps up, spots Jake's head, won't be able to find a thing, and he'll TP back over to the team.
Now the storm is going to be brewing here. Let's see if YFP can hold the gate.
They drop down, Reduxx with paint shells to give him 2 on the stun, and it's enough for T-Dog to get inside and get that opening kill. Jakey with the follow-up angle, able to go for the backstab as they bolt it down on the trap wires, and that'll get him 3 along the way to YFP.
Knights just pop off round after round of the last matchup, but of course, YFP had a little bit more time together. They've got a lot more of these protocols solidified, and I think that they're going to be relying on those ones to try and take this win over Cubert, because it's going to be an engage on to be heaven.
Big stack up the tower, and with the first bird, you're at least able to trade 1 for 1, but Penny's paint shells are going to get a hell of a lot of value inside mailroom. Now Cubert's stuck and has to just go for the raw push before the rest of YFP comes back on. They might not need it, though, as Penny and Stellar each grab 1 before they're able to
leave, getting picked up into tier 1. Obviously, fantastic for Scuba, but at the same time, Scuba was a key piece of this Cubert Academy roster. And you can see that they're falling back into how things kind of looked on split 1. A little bit all over the place, but regardless, good trade. It's going to be a duelist for a duelist. Thankfully, TenZ still alive, though, so there's 1 more on the side of Cubert.
And he's able to change this footing up with Knights TPing through that mesh. B-Dog fully aware, but even stunned Knights is able to win that 1v1, and that'll be a wide open B site. YFP have to scurry back over to Stellar stuck in the back, and Knight's gonna get really active with his paranoia just to get a couple extra steps forward and control this site till the rest of Cubert get on, which they just barely will. Dog gonna get utilized for Jakey to be able to step down right into the clone. Swings on top of it. Knights, that's a second he's good for here on site. And Cubert have the spike down, Thief creeping up, smoke dissipates, and Knights will get a 3rd. Particular is that YFP's comp is very heavily geared to be able to counter a lot of the Yoru util with the deadlock instead of something like the Sage. You have a lot more omnipresence on a site, so a lot of those kind of one-and-done entries that you could normally go for as a Yoru have a lot more risk before even going for the reward. We'll see him stay a lot more geared towards these early plants as Reduxx goes for damage, and then maybe we'll see the GOAT go for a couple pounces, but here's Reduxx on that front line in the double hold up here on the tower. Once again, B-Dog up close and personal with it. First line of defense, and that may have to change as the Yoru ult comes through. Now, damage traded away, and Penny and B-Dog opting for the swing. Reduxx clears them both, and Cubert go for the sweeping clear of the entirety of the site as well. 2 more stuck in tower.
Oh, excellent little flash there, but Stellar looks away just at the wrong second here. And now it's all up to Thief in a 1v5, tries to go up against TenZ, and of course, Cubert have been very adamant at trying to take this control before moving into those sites. So YFP have many protocols ready to go.
Paranoia up first here for Jakey on the intercept. TenZ just walks into the smoke and sprays down 2. That's one way to clear it when you don't have an ult too. 2 for 1 as the duelist will fall. But again, that second one in Reduxx able to take up the frontline duties now on what will be a guaranteed site, something Cubert have been trying to chokehold round by round and then just foot to the floor their way to the site. Still though, a little bit of clearing has to be done for what they haven't, so a little bit of util will get expended on this site, and Stellar will be ready with the bird to intercept. A lot of value to get you forward, but
good cover.
You already have so much space made there by Reduxx. The moment of indecision lets Knights get that free kill.
And Spike will go down here. YFP just 2 sheriffs in hand. Jake only 1 away from the ultimate. Thief 2 away. Could make things a little bit easier, but this round is done and dusted here as Jakey gets spotted out first.
Last player standing.
Thief with the step out, nothing doing there. Jakey just prolonging.
Meanwhile, Cubert have already just completely dominated the middle area. So they've got options to play with.
All this already being sacrificed, and TenZ will finally find an angle with this offensive op. Jakey will fall. One of the more proactive players we've been seeing lately, getting far more active on this Omen, much like some of the others we've seen. And it's come up great for him. Fails this time, and Reduxx winning his own 1v against Stellar as the smoke dissipates. So Cubert coming up really well again on this fight. Penny finding an orb, not able to spam it down for a little while, but he'll find it.
And now Penny has the showstopper as well. Given the space that T-Dog has kind of carved all the way out of that A site. Yeah, you see the ping on the minimap as well. They will be moving over there. Keep in mind, the Cypher utility is still very much a threat, especially with Penny just so far over there. If a smoke goes in that back line, it doesn't quite matter. And yeah, okay. Rocket going to be activated here. We'll be seeing whether or not they can find something. It goes in, but actually doesn't find anything. Penny deep in sight, though.
They had T-Dog's eye angle locked that whole time, and Penny still couldn't finalize it. Luckily, his shots are clean. That's 2 down. Knights gets active up top, but there's no time to plant this spike. So YFP will grab around these aimers on YFP to go absolutely insane. And Stellar as well. With these birds and dogs, has been such an unkillable nuisance, much like he has been on the Fade in other maps. Proven to already get a lot of bang for his buck, which is good. There's a lot of questions been raised around Sky, particularly with the absence of Tejo. There's another showstopper attempt. Reduxx is able to clip Penny on the drop down. Does Cubert make a decision off of that? They'll try to cut into tower with the help of the clone. They'll drive in, try and bulldoze their way. 1 down, turns on to Stellar, and he can't grab anything off of the turn. Thief, 1 before the step back, but you can just spray through, and he's not dipping back all the way. Sure, why the hell not?
There. Once again, like, things are starting to really line up for Cubert, especially with a lot of the Sentinel utility. It's all about controlling where your opponent goes. You want to toss down that barrier mesh, cut down one of the avenues, make it more simple for yourself on this defense. And yet still, Cubert have been doing a fantastic job just kind of slapping on a utility that comes their way, which gives them plenty of time to decide where they want to go. And Nismo finding Stellar is an excellent way for Cubert to start things out here as B-Dog goes exploring and will find Nismo.
Attempted dry peek from Stellar, really wanted to hold on to that dog. You've seen already Skies here in BCL be a lot more conservative with using that as opposed to the Tejo drone. Just, again, you need to find something out of that, and luckily you're able to give B-Dog that hero rifle swing to at least chip away 1 before you duck back and hand over this site.
10 seconds left.
D-Dog holding upstairs. Knights on the ramps. Everybody's here. Knights will turn face. 2v2. As soon as T-Dog decides to peek it. IFP still poking. B-Dog with that rifle has got a good vantage. Drops down 2. You got 2 on site. Reduxx could swing. Could get backstabbed here. TenZ gets that TP back though. And the reposition is there. It's a sight, but through the mesh and the one-way, Jakey catches Reduxx on the timing. Perfectly done, and with the barrier mesh also blocking TenZ's exit, he's forced to TP back, go for a far longer peek. YFP can restack on top of the Seekers. B-Dog follows them to YFP's next kill. And it's a 5v3 before Cubert can get to the front lines of a site. And with the neural theft as well, Cubert now have to offer a double back with all that intel they handed over.
Keep an eye on B-Dog. Could find an excellent timing here. The 3 members of Cubert just on the other side. I imagine they're just going to go into it, but YFP have also just reinforced B site.
30 seconds left.
Nothing really to check on their back. B-Dog could be instrumental at shutting it down if Cubert are able to make their way on site.
Yeah, no time to check for anything. It's once again got to be the backyard brawl that Cubert have been begging for. TenZ allowed an opening op shot, but nothing more. All alone, blinding himself to blind the field.
At this point, they should be getting a better read of how Sentinels Cubert Academy are playing, and maybe they could have held on to a couple, but That's not a great way to start things out if you are YFP. Penny going down very early to Knights. And this time it's a lot of pressure outside of A. A bit more unconventional than what we are used to, but Jakey spotting out Reduxx's head. Will decide to just go back on site as the barrier mesh will get tossed in.
No doubt YFP will avoid holding any more brevity now that their first attempt at it was stopped so quickly. Jakey's gonna re-up this pretty immediately as well, understandably so. Here's a good chunk of steps rolling across that toxic screen. Time to retreat. Let the rest of YFP come calling. Ramps will be Cubert's though. Got a couple guys out here to intercept this. Huge paranoia from Jakey, but he's alone, so
What?
only good for one. Snake bite to deter the rest of YFP on the back step. Now paint shells as well. They really want to guarantee this space so they can just double back and fully funnel into the A site.
30
TP on
seconds
top
left.
of the sonic sensor so Cubert can turn and burn, but with 25 seconds to go, you got to just go for it. Reduxx hops on. Stellar, no indecision necessary. Reduxx can't turn it. 2 down for them, and it's a 2v1 for B-Dog, who is here, but Reduxx. Sonic sensor doesn't have to check too much. So Cubert would still rather go for another fight, at least to start. 55 seconds to go.
This is very classic Cubert right now, based on how they've been playing this map. It's always take a little bit of space, then hang out, but the utility lets it be known what's going on there. Reduxx's showstopper goes wide, but Nizno makes up for it.
Blood smelled in the water, and they're finally able to deal with it. In time for Jakey to get on site, but they quickly turn onto him as well. Penny's turn to peek, and TenZ alone now on Heaven. Will hand the spot over to the other duelist.
30 seconds
The
left.
Cubert are on site. Have Reduxx playing keep away. Paint
Spike
shells from
planted.
Penny are going to be a little bit late, so Nizmo can sidestep. And now it's the long game again. Reduxx on a close angle. Double swing from the screens. First pick from Penny, not good. Gotta do it together. Gotta go for one on the way out. Both Thief and B-Dog grab theirs. Fragmented health for all 3 members left on the field, but YFP can spread thin.
A little bit later in these said rounds.
Sensor.
And they fully split the board though, and so B-Dog's pretty ISO'd. Even still, the GravNet does allow him a good amount of space. It's a 1-for-1 trade. TenZ gonna try and be that tip of the spear here on tower, but senses there's too much attention now paid. Waits for the util. There's the smoke to shroud away Stellar. Still a lot of ults in the cards potentially for YFP if Penny can stay standing, and he does! Ducks back out as the spike is now stranded on tower here. Nizmo holding on to
30
it as the rest of
seconds
Cubert
left.
try and suss out the rest of the map.
Tossing out the snake bite from T-Dog does draw a decent amount of attention here. So if Cubert Academy want to take this site, they will only be going up against Thief.
Cage triggered.
We've had a very successful moment of holding things down, but time against the clock. Cubert have to flood in here,
10
and this could be
seconds left.
dangerous. If Thief stop the plant, that could be really bad. And okay, at least that is going to be the case. Should be enough time to get that spike down. It's extremely close, but missing the
One enemy
showstopper.
remaining.
Does end up landing here in the middle of it. T-Dog in a 1v3. The spike is down though, and that's what's most important.
It's sloppy, but it worked. Thief with the first interrupt, and while he's a little bit late with it, Penny does have the showstopper to turn this to a 3v1. T-Dog's pit has to be superb. Timing is planted, forced in, and 28 HP to his name. Rest of Cubert now has to try and save face with the help of the Toxic Orb. They'll give Nizmo the next angle, and the re-up from YFP doesn't go as well. Penny now down to 21 HP. T-Dog attempted runaway. He's not gonna make it out this time.
Just chaos, everything, throwing everything they've got, just a battle for mid, and then we can figure out what we're going to be doing afterwards. And yeah, T-Dog not able to escape in the midst of all of that. Call from YFP has been made. They're slowly making their way all the way wrapping around onto A site. Train of people walking through sewers right now, but they're going to be going up against TenZ, holding a very high
30
angle
seconds
here.
left.
And look at that. It is going to be Nizmo on the site, where we've seen disgusting things happen there, but YFP were the ones who were perpetrating that attack. So let's see if they clear this out.
Quite low, doesn't really matter when, again, you're not checked first. And Nizmo will be able to strike before falling. Minimal time to plant. Cubert do not opt to interrupt the barrier mesh, walling away. TenZ and Thief finding Reduxx on high. 2v4 in the post plant. And as the mesh will fade away, Knights will finally get to a proper position. Does not have a TP for this trap wire though, so the flank will get revealed. TenZ will give his own position away as well. He's not ready for B-Dog! It's all timing here. TenZ with the only buy of anyone on the team. But Nismo, again, the first to strike.
Okay.
Now catching Thief off guard. It's down to TenZ to get this hold, and he can't land any of those Sheriff shots. So YFP will have an easy path here with that gun advantage still clear. Nismo, of course, is able to grab that Bulldog on the single lurk, and now it's Knights' turn to have the off angle before he's cut through. 3v3 now on the retake. Cubert is here to play. Do they choose to go on the spike drop? No. They'll wait for that util to come back and that dog to give them some space. Reduxx caught by the sonic sensor. T-Dog attempts to come back on the stun, but can't go shot for shot. Now it's down to Nismo on that hero rifle that he was able to pick up previously. Bird goes too far to pick up on B-Dog. He's already gotten ahead, and he's on a time crunch. 21 HP too. Forced to just be satisfied with that one kill. And now we'll back away with this Bulldog he's acquired. A loud round for Cubert Academy. Some fun antics, but no win on the board, taking us to 8-6 for YFP.
Yeah, but quite a bit of economic damage here. Would have been awesome if they were able to drop the vandalism. It is just quiet now. YFP getting ready to move in onto this B site. Knights, the only person here, could come up huge, but it is a big ask.
Oh. Yeah, closest for a ways and be in that first line of defense. Rough when you don't have anybody else to immediately respond. YFP have their pick of the litter with this B site, and in fact, B-Dog's gonna double back on the plant. Go for the safer one on the outside with how much time and space they've gotten for themselves. Cubert have a couple angles to call their own, but Thief is still all the way behind on this mid. So T-Dog continuously paying attention to that. Reduxx attempted swing out, and Jake is able to take care of that too. Nothing's working for Cubert on this push. Jake, he's cooking though. That's 3 on the ground and more than enough for Cubert to hightail it with what few rifles they have left. They have once again called it a day. And it'll be a 9-6 game now for YFP. Running away with the attack, and Jakey hungry for more. He wants at least one more kill on the board, and he's not gonna get it. T-Dog will at least shut that down. Once again, brevity fighting YFP in the ass a little bit, but at this point they have creds to spare. I'll see my goat play tomorrow too, please.
Oh, those cards are out of our hands. Only these teams can decide how this one's going to be shaken out. And this time around, YFP be playing a little bit slower. Trying to suss out any information. Going to be Trailblazer moving forwards. Scout something, Nismo. At least a little bit aware. Something might be conspiring outside of the safe
30
site.
seconds left.
Keep in mind, though, look at Jake's position there, ready to catch any of those flanks around, but Nismo just has the awareness, able to find B-Dog in the midst of all of that. Now it's going to be a fight for heaven.
Knights backstepping. Nismo also given some space after the Omen TP. YFP recognize there's a little too much presence here, and they have barely just enough time to get to this B site, where the 2 duelists are waiting. TenZ, first blind, go for 3! There's my goat talking! No more time out the gate here. And Cubert will get to shut down that one in. They'll have a bit of timing on this mid-cut, especially if Thief is able to grab an opening frag. Peeks a little off, but so is Nismo's aim. T-Dog also can't get one. And that is monumental for this round. And the future of this game, really. YFP, easy 5v3 on the A-take, and they'll take their sweet time. Won't even get the spike down just yet. They want to grab one more guaranteed. Spotting Reduxx's body. They know the push is coming. B-Dog's hungry, but Knights will get to eat first. And it's a 4v3 now. Cubert smelt blood in the water, and they want to try and follow it with the trap wire. That one misstep will force the chase to a standstill. Yoru clone to force out a little more util. It'll be the showstopper from Penny first. TenZ sticking around for a moment there, but finally back away. And that might be enough time wasted for YFP. Cubert Academy, the remaining 3. Yeah, they'll stick around and spawn. Hand this over. YFP's getting to double digits.
Yeah, the economy on Cubert not looking the best over there, and so they make the call to just hold things over to the next one. Especially understanding that Penny has that showstopper available. You know what? Sure, we got the ultimate out. That makes things a little bit more difficult for them to be able to... They prevent Cubert from just getting away with whatever they want.
That really was the strat going into this, is let these crazy aimers do what they do best, which is whatever they want.
Less.
Penny attempted entry. Nismo now really early to this, but that'll get cornered pretty quickly. T-Dog, really tough angle to step into, and Thief on a 3K. Once again, A-site, unquestionably YFP's. It really is the little things that have mattered so much for Cubert, those
Spike planted.
micro adjustments in the angles they're taking, and they're early enough. They're subject to this strat we see Cubert wanting to go for, and it looks like it can definitely work. But all too often, it's the hero moments that end up becoming what's actually pivotal, and that's no different from yesterday.
Yeah, and very standard engagement onto walking onto the site, and Cubert Academy more or less just kind of walk themselves to back off. Will now be reclaiming space into middle. Look at that, Cubert, they just immediately abandoned site. T-Dog, at least able to spot things out, does have this judge in hand, but it's like Penny's walking up here, and you don't want to be on the receiving end of a Penny who's looking to kill. TenZ going a little bit exploring, but we'll have to back off here after tripping one of those sonic sensors. Thief, though, keeps Reduxx honest. And that is going to be an excellent first kill, because that opens things up onto that A site just a little bit more. And you can tell YFP are just going to be exploring that space, taking that mid control, potentially walking over to A. They've got yet another sonic sensor to trap whenever someone wants to move around here. But actually, this is all just a little bit of a ruse. They're taking that spike over to that B site, especially with the Seekers confirming the push in through here, but all getting sprayed down. That might make Cubert Academy think this is going to be an A hit.
With those Seekers on just one prong, really tough to get anywhere with it. B-Dog with that deadlock ultimate. T-Dog does get the kill, but B-Dog does get the ultimate proc. Knights, though, can shut down Penny, so it's just a war on one front that Cubert has to deal with after all is said and done. 3 players on it, though, and 13 seconds to go, more than enough to plant. No step out from the smoke, so Knights is safe for now, but the trap wire set up on top of the spike lets Stellar sit on top of it until Nismo gets the high ground. Now it's on Nismo and Knights who take over that high and low, and they'll each get theirs. 3.
You gotta make sure to delay that plant as much as possible. You're gonna force out errors from YFP. They don't really have the kit, really, and presence in order to deny a lot of that. And things could work out well here, but Penny going fishing this time. Finds Reduxx caught in the net here as T-Dog barely able to escape.
I really appreciate how much respect T-Dog has been paying Penny on these mid lurks, but Penny takes advantage of it this round and is able to swipe through vents and grab that first blood for YFP, ducking back like the team was never there at all. And now this smoke completely empty. No value gained from it at all for Cubert Academy. As now Knights only sits with 1 on this solo behold again. He'll have to make a tough choice of where he places this smoke if he has time to at all. But he's inside the garage and he's gonna check. Just gonna let that space be taken. As YFP still mounting on the front lines, looking for this first blood. T-Dog the easiest target, obviously. And he's almost revealed himself again, but YFP recognizing how much time is left. They understand they have to start knocking on the front door. And they will try and lay their claim on A site.
And this time around,
30 seconds left.
this is where the rifles are. TenZ, as well as Nismo, watching this long angle, sees the bird out there, knows where they're going.
TenZ takes a couple shots, but he does find one before falling.
I'm out of stuff.
And it lets the rest of Cubert step on. Nismo, perfect angle to be taken, and Cubert can go for a crunch. It's easy from there when you got a duelist like Reduxx.
From potentially forcing out overtime. 3 opportunities for YFP to close out map number 1. TenZ went completely unscouted. That might not be some best information, but Seeker should give that positioning away, so TenZ will have to retreat here, as it's going to be Knights up against everybody again.
Oh, and T-Dog paranoid out, but he gets 2!
Spike down, B.
As Knights ends up short-sighting more than just T-Dog. He short-sights the whole bloody front line. That's 3 on a judge. Are you out of your mind? Now an easy intercept for Cubert. The whole gang's here, and that's exactly what they want. No doubt a guaranteed round. I'd say sit back, relax, enjoy the 50 seconds of free timeout you have if you're YFP, because you're going to need it for these last 2 rounds of regulation.
That's so funny. T-Dog just coming down from heaven. Judge
Just
in
jumps
hand.
in.
Yep. Hey, you hit me with the paranoia? Well, I've got a shotgun. Gotta play close anyways. That's fine with me.
Cubert is starting to win their duels. Can they do it long enough to stave off this win on what would be the break point for YFP? Grabbing Cubert's pick. TenZ up close and personal. Again, the spray, long-winded, but good for the 1. and your GOAT will not go negative today. T-Dog now holding from the vents as opposed to the tower as Cubert try and split the diff with YFP still making some noise up middle here. Spike in hand as well. And Thief, as always, that ever-invasive invade. B-Dog, do-si-do with T-Dog. He thinks he can win these, but now the showstopper's here to play, and B-Dog has to sidestep that too. He does, in fact. But in the spray down, Reduxx finds the supporting character in Stellar. The spike with it. No player from YFP will win a duel this day. And Knights will give himself away on the smoke, so B-Dog, wow.
Ported on that crossfire to make sure that they just find those kills for free. So fantastic job, but Reduxx going down. TenZ able to at least trade.
It's Reduxx with the operator close and personal, and now he's trying to blind himself away to stave off the fight. He does. Rest of Cubert's here to play. This is how you enable your fifth, who's had mere days to get ready. You let him stay standing as long as possible and spray a little more into that smoke that YFP just can't seem to breach. Little extra damage done. But now Jakey's inside. That's one. Nismo the turn. Again, it's preventative. But YFP's on the site. They've set up B-Dog on his own sensor. And Thief already going for another invade. The dimensional drift will get evaded by that Cypher. But B-Dog's position is more than confirmed. It's guaranteed. TenZ goes for the solo frag. B-Dog wins that first fight. Ult is alive and well. That's another on the board. And Thief wins his too. In the final hour, it is YFP who has enough and gets the drop on Cubert. A 13-11 victory on Cubert's pick.
And of course, the Yoru will be able to mitigate quite a bit of that Cypher utility as well, as this hit is going to be on this A site.
Trying to stay quick and painless, but Thief holding it down for a pretty long time, and now it's B-Dog's turn to util dump. YFP is here on high. They'll be able to go for a pretty hard defensive fight. Knights trying to get up, get that extra shot on the altitude, but it's down to TenZ on this Sheriff in the 1v3. After all is said and done, Haunt will force him back into tree, and he'll at least hit this door to keep YFP guessing, but now it's a question of who will end up taking this next fight. Who will end up taking this next peak? TenZ is doubled back onto the A site. YFP have left that space unattended, ready for the plant though.
Spike planted.
Not going to turn on to it, respecting the hold. Now the swinging from one, that's all that TenZ will get. It'll at least be some courtyard presence they fight for. Watching these steps for whoever could step out. It's Stellar to confirm and come to the rest of the team that it's going to be A site. 45 seconds, but even still, both teams will be willing to duke it out here and now. B-Dog early util dump to make sure that Cubert can't step on before the rest of the team gets here. But with the baby door broken, it's going to be Thief that'll actually take the brunt of the blow, and the paranoia through the link. Here's away the site, gives T-Dog enough time to get down and plant that spike. Re-entry early on from Penny, just going to get on top of this pile drive, and now the spike will get dropped again. Cubert hold up in the baby door. It'll be a brawl with these pistols. They found their close angles, and they'll use them. TenZ, Knights, and T-Dog, each for one. 13 seconds to go, but Cubert has overwhelming control. Stellar with the pinch, low health, and Knights now with the Bulldog able to take him down. How has Cubert manifested this round? B-Dog, the only line of defense left, and it's TenZ. Who else?
YFP get completely bamboozled by some fancy footwork coming out from the Cubert Academy roster. And now they're the ones on the back heel. B-Dog, the only one with a Marshal in hand. Of course, we do see a couple of Sheriffs on the board for YFP. But meanwhile, Cubert Academy, I mean, they're swimming in the money. T-Dog's bringing an Odin in onto this one. They are more than comfortable right now.
Yeah, they have no trouble just diving into this fight. They know YFP will be here for it, but they have such better guns, it doesn't really matter. You still saw them pay a lot of respect to the invade as well. Knights holding down the spawn, and then Reduxx hanging out around C for a while before driving in on his own shear that they have set up on this A entry, and they will for a majority of this attack half, before actually going in for the fight, which they will handsomely clear away. Thief, a little bit of laundry to do before going for the suicide peak.
On that Yoru instead of the Neon, it feels a little bit more comfortable. You're not just letting the Neon fly out there and immediately get taken down. It's a bit more coordinated. Yoru can go for that backstab a little bit more often or be in places that you're not expecting. And that just kind of plays a little bit better with how TenZ's playstyle goes, as well as the rest of Cubert Academy. The core four, the rest of them know how to play off of each other, with Reduxx kind of being that tip of the spear. And so this allows for that same momentum to happen here. But as I say that, Penny is able to at least find Reduxx. Thief trying to find an off angle here, but Cubert Academy have taken over that C site and will be planting. It's going to be a 5v4 retake as YFP walk in.
Good sense to deal with Reduxx. But Cubert prepared to play the 5v4. Stun from Penny is gorgeous, and he's just going to walk it down. 3 now for him. Keep it going. No, Jakey will steal the ace potential, but YFP will no doubt steal the round. It's a bulldozing from them.
So a lot of early damage kind of given off the T-Dog in the start here. Penny going for more.
Cubert's really been trying to find a way to slow him down. The fault line is the increasing threat of that, and Penny will get antsy. TenZ shutting it down and holding down this B site that Cubert will easily take over.
Spike planted.
B-Dog. Aftershock does kill T-Dog. And now we'll go for more. The swing on top of his flash, and TenZ can't finalize on top of the smoke drop. B-Dog gets a third.
That's not ready.
Smokes dissipate. Nismo give it away. This is sloppy from Cubert Academy, but Knights just might save him. 2 for him. Nismo walls away Thief with the Aftershock as well, and it's a 1v1 between Jake and Nismo. No more util for the breach, though. He has to peek it, and he gets the kill.
See a little bit of utility. Prowler scouting things out. No information really given away here. As Reduxx is actually going pretty far deep there. An excellent cutoff from Jake. Shuts down any aggression that might be coming. The smoke is going to activate as a result. And so it might be on to Reduxx to get a little bit more space here and allow the team to go for a different site hit.
And again, the balls to be able to go for one there. Jakey, such an influential active omen. Really been feeling himself on it lately. Reduxx and TenZ sidestepping. Thief shuts them both down. And it's got to be a forced crunch to try and save face, but Penny's still sticking around too. Just Knights left. Steps given, so Stellar's going to hear it.
30 seconds left.
Calm the C-swing. Knights has no trouble not hiding it at this point. He just wants the spike to go down. Get some extra creds here, see what he can get on the way out. Does get ahead of this C's, can take the waterfall fight, beautifully taken. Everybody else is coming from spawn. Aftershock will wall him out though. Smoke does only give him one angle to have to check. Rush in from Penny to guarantee 2 angles to swing from. He's gonna just screw with him a little bit at this point, and that's a horror movie if I've ever seen one.
Jakey flirting with danger, a lot of utility, making sure to clear this one out, and the Prowler will get a nice little chomp out of that Omen, but it's going to be enough to kind of force a reposition here. Cubert Academy not really doing anything with that additional space just quite yet, as Reduxx spots out quite a few, but is able to escape in time. Jakey, though, still finds Reduxx.
He ate so much util and then still took high ground and got a kill out of it. Stellar is here to enable as well. Free clone, because Cubert's not even in yet. And now they can't re-clear the site. They have no idea how many are here. So they'll have to reposition. Not going to be B-side either.
30 seconds left.
B-Dog is just going to use this Rolling Thunder on whatever site Cubert go for. Go for a timer stall. TenZ planted here on the B site as Cubert go for the A takeover. 15 seconds to go. B-Dog's lined up with it. It's got to be here and now. TenZ won't be able to grab anything really influential. The fight's here. Oh, they have no time. Cubert's been fully walled out. Penny's overdrive scared him away enough.
You spent all this time trying to bait out the ultimates, nothing came out, and so you just have to say, okay, we're committed to the site, and then the ultimates come out, and at that point, you can't do anything. Knights could have gone for the TP, but time seemed to just dwindle away. Confusion coming through, kind of showcasing only those 4 days of practice. Not a good look for Cubert Academy, but at least they seem to be a little bit more knowledgeable this time around. As Penny goes in deep, able to find TenZ, able to find Knights as well.
What a turn! And converts as well before the rest of Cubert have anything to say. Jakey already ahead of it. And it's a trivial round that Penny will once again feast on. TenZ just one orb away from making this a full-blown cornucopia of ultimates. So they have no trouble making this opening noise here on the C mound and trying to scare the pants off of whoever is here. Normally it's Jakey, but he's actually on A. Bigger pile on the C door this time around, and they will eat a hell of a lot of util. TenZ senses that blood. He's gonna go for the dimensional drift.
Spots out so many, and actually Rolling Thunder gonna get utilized as well. The Thief's still here.
Sticks around for a second as well. Guardian no less. TenZ on Waterfall. Good for only the one though. Nightfall to try and seal this, but B-Dog still gets one before it's procced. It's Knights against the Decay, but only good for the one.
Cubert Academy on a little bit of a save. TenZ the only one with the Guardian in hand.
Everybody else just chasing ghosts. It's Knights to try to get active first. Doesn't catch anything. And this is one of those run it down rounds for Cubert Academy. Find something, anything. And oftentimes they do. Penny, obviously the one to poke his head out the most. Down to 5 HP off of those chips. TP in from TenZ can't be punished despite the fact that... Oh, the trap wire, I spoke too soon. Thief does find a time to spray it down. C's on top of the backside though, so YFP can't press further. You at least get the spike down for free on what is that safe site. And Reduxx on the spread back, grabs one. It's Thief to fall. Now Reduxx, hold it down on top of a fault line. Jakey swings in on top of it. Just the two left on top of the spike here, and that should be an easy spray.
Cubert Academy, only 2 more rounds left to potentially get that 7-5, but at this rate, I mean, if you're YFP, you're looking to make this a 9-3.
Oh! The haunt from T-Dog, not caught, and B-Dog. Oh, Penny gets the free op through the smoke. B-Dog with that cover fire. Immediate stopper. No more smokes to offer here. They've got to try and clear this again. 2 on the route. So painful here. And Jakey now on the pocket as well. Infinite options for YFP's defense. Yoru clears. TenZ is in. Will press farther. Penny ducks back, recognizes how much presence could be here. Cubert refused to put the stick into neutral. Steel Garden to wall away. Penny still able to keep that gun, but not the space.
Spike planted.
It's going to be a 4v4 retake here. A lot of utility options still available. Keep in mind, B-Dog basically has the full kit ready. And look at the minimap, they're ready to go. It's going to be a stun fest and an explosion.
Penny's overdrive is active. Looking for an opener. B-Dog will find it. TenZ trying to hold the angle, can't grab one. And Penny will just swing with the rifle. He has help too. Thief now on the trade, and it's a 1v2. T-Dog 1. That's a spray! B-Dog's blind! Gives him enough space to work with.
It's going to be the Nightfall very early on from Cubert.
Jakey forced to TP back into the drop spot. And will choose to hold this as YFP make this tight again early. Relay bolt. TenZ's arm is caught, but Penny doesn't check it. He just goes into fight on the low ground. He doesn't need to wait. He'll grab his. Now TenZ. Maybe he should have grabbed that kill because TenZ could get a little more value. Almost turns on to Thief. But it's Reduxx alone now. In the blink of an eye, again, YFP silenced the storm on A site. And Reduxx has to keep them guessing on the 1v2. Cyber Cage will corral him out of the door. That's one. Stellar gone. No time to get back inside. And Thief knows it. Ready for the fight, but Reduxx readier. So close to what is the most important placement YFP will have in their org standing. Thief beckons. Fault line to force this forward. And he will retreat after Cubert try and dig deep for that one. YFP see the weakness in the other sites. They'll clear away Reduxx.
And just good understanding. That's where the players might be. A little bit easier to move through. Penny so far forward, finds TenZ.
Still just playing keep away. They're already up to meet this. Penny has no reason not to just go for a peek again after this haunt will go through. 2 now in steps. 1 on the CT swing. Overwhelming control of the courtyard as well here for YFP.
Should be an easy round for YFP.
Well, Thief has done his homework and does have the trap wire set up. Stellar now checking for the peaks as well. And everything working for YFP now. Rest of Cubert is holed up in B, attempting to pile drive whoever may have invaded. But YFP keeping their distance to the right extent. And Stellar will again get some good timing. Can't finalize the kill on the first swing. Will on the second. And once again, YFP checking everywhere they need to. Stellar lighting up the kill feed this round. Good to see him get active. No other option left for YFP. Cubert have done a good job of throwing all the util they need to prevent anybody from YFP from choking up anywhere further on the other sites. Still only 4 here, but Penny's gotten so much space on this waterfall.
Go, go, go.
And now we'll force Cubert to do some additional clearing.
Time is ticking down too, so pressure mounting for Cubert to make this round win.
One of the real pivot rounds for Cubert. TenZ opening frag, flashes himself in. Stellar close angle on the shorty, almost finishes another. But the rest of Cubert are able to swarm the site and have the gun advantage. B-Dog spraying through the smoke for one. Has to get through for the next, but finds T-Dog and no more time to hold down that spike. Knights with the kill, but it's not gonna be in time!
YFP now storming ahead. And who else but Nismo just on the other side here. Has a judge in hand, looking for it. Able to find Penny first as TenZ on the other side. Guns down Stellar.
Perfect interception, but Nismo and T-Dog are unable to properly follow up, so YFP do still have this site. TenZ still on it, though. No more util in the tank. And YFP can try to slow this down, isolate the one. They will. TenZ is gone. 2v3. Knight's already here. Tries to poke with the Guardian, but can't finalize a kill. And Reduxx standing alone with this Vandal. One of the saving graces for Cubert Academy to try to keep them in this match. That's one gone. He's clutched before. Can he do it again? Arcrose does not confirm the position behind the box, and the double swing is imminent. Thief on the tree, but Jake.
Cubert Academy, you can feel the desperation in some of the plays. It feels like the players are just trying to make something work. And in the midst of all of that, it's once again YFP coming out on top of these duels. TenZ going down first. Nismo just hiding behind tree. Has the fault line ready to go, but if this is a rush through, YFP have been looking so sharp when it comes to shooting.
Cubert's top frag is down, but they're ready to intercept. The macro has still been good for Cubert Academy. It's just come down to completing. And there are these lurching, crawling leeches from YFP that continue to pester and make these rounds seemingly impossible. Taking their sweet time on the attack this time after the player advantage, seeing if anybody else from Cubert gets antsy. They have reason to believe it. Breaking down that baby door is Jakey. And he'll start to suss out the B site. Corral a few more members over there before TPing over to C site for the full entry. But the Razor Vine will keep away a couple of members of YFP early on. Knights, pot shots out of the waterfall. Tries and find a couple. Won't get a kill as well. And YFP, once again, have the C site for free.
Face your fear!
Big Nightfall, too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a tool very early used. Cubert now poised to move back in here. Not a ton of utility, but at least they've got Nismo stuff online, but time is ticking down.
Jakey's reposition could be crucial on top of this smoke, but CP may not have been caught. This is such a tough angle to hold, and it's so good. The rest of YFP absolutely steamroll the entry.